Welcome to In the Know with Lolo Knows, and I am here with my really dear friend, Blue Nine from Chicago. How the hell are you?
I'm good. Busy.
I see that, Miss Recording Academy. I'm loving this. When I first got into the scene and it was just I was just a mere dancer, you know, cutting up on the dance floor to this music that I just thought was just ingenious and everybody needed to hear it. Everybody would feel good in listening to it. And then fast forward all these years later, we have, I can now say, I have friends who are in the recording academy in the electronic music scene. And I think that's pretty damn cool. And we've come a long way as an electronic music community, let me tell you.
Yeah, this now we're starting to get recognized in our own category, but it took a while. There's 94 categories at the Grammys, and only a partial of it. Obviously, you guys only get to see partial part like on TV, but it starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, just so you know. And then
Yeah.
what you guys see on TV,
Oh, yeah.
the
You
fun
looked
stuff.
great. You look
Thank you.
great. You were on it. You had it. You had your outfit together. That was
Yep.
total. You showed up, Blue Nine. You really did.
And then partied afterwards in West Hollywood. They normally there's a whole bunch of parties like the week of, during the week, and like
Who all got recognized this season? That you're. I know Terry Hunter. It's just a lot of a lot of I love seeing
a lot
Chicago
of
kick off like
females.
this. A lot of
Um,
females.
mhm. A lot of females, even like producers and engineers too. I can't think all the top of my head, but I know like a
Yeah.
majority of were females.
That's exciting. And especially for us, because there's always been this question of representation and whether or not I think we're being taken seriously at this point.
Yeah, we are. I mean, we still got ways to go. I was so upset. It was so funny because my friend and I we were like, oh my God, a woman won every category that night
Yeah.
except for Kendrick Lamar. I love Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, Kendrick Lamar had to go fuck it up. True. Like women swept every category except for him.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's Kendrick. He had
Hmm.
a lot to say this year, and I think
Yep.
he did that. He
Hmm.
really did that.
Yes,
He
yes,
got the
he did.
whole world. He made the whole
He
world
got a
listen.
pass. He got a pass for that one. But it was just like, oh my God. But it was really nice to see just being there and being able to experience the Grammys, I think, are different than any other award show, at least to
Mm.
me. And I think this was probably one of the best ones I've ever seen.
Oh, it really
There.
was. I watched
Um,
it. It was amazing.
like people even said that. They're just like, I think it was like the great and this time people were cheering each other on. Like
Yes.
dancing, what like how it's structured and how it's set up is meant for you guys at home. What
Hmm.
we see is a whole bunch of chaos running around, things happening, like people are setting up around you, like there's all these things happening, and you guys don't see that. We do, but you guys are not seeing what we're seeing. But just the performances, like I wasn't expecting, like one of my favorite ones was Dochi. I was not expecting her
Yes.
performance at all.
Dochi's
Like when
making
I
waves.
mean I didn't, I don't think I breathe. I don't think I took a breath during her performance. I was like,
I know, right? She came out
no,
like,
like
here
she was,
I am.
yeah, I was like,
And everybody said, okay. And you know what? She is the moment. She
right.
is truly the moment. That's for sure.
But yeah, it seemed different, and it was also not just women focused, but also queer focused. There was a lot
Yes.
of queer artists, and it was like
Yes.
finally, like
Yes.
trying to. There was a article that I think I saw it somewhere. It was like the Grammys. Um, were like very queer this year. Like it was like very queer centered this year. And it was like, and it should, as it should be, because a majority, and I think that's what we forget too. Like a lot of our artists, it pisses me off because it's like house music was created by gay black men. And do you see
Exactly.
any gay black men with the, besides Derek Carter, play anywhere in Chicago? He does
Right.
Queen on Sundays, but other than that, nothing. It's just like yeah, everything is whitewashed.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. This is why you and I are having this conversation
I'll
because
say it. I said what I said.
and
Like I
that's
said,
what
I
I want.
said what I
That's what
said.
needs to be said, and
I
people
say
need
what
to
I
hear
say.
that. People really need to understand that because what I'm also seeing is a generation coming up that don't even want to pay homage to the history
No, and it
at
pisses
all. They
me
don't
off too.
care. It's
Or
like
they
they
think
don't
they found
care,
it. Right.
huh?
Or
They're
they
they're
think they found it. They
huh?
invented it. Or they think they're like, oh, this is just like, dude, it's been done before. It's
Right.
like, I'm not saying I'm old. I'm like an in-betweener. I think,
This
like I,
isn't an old comment. This is a
right. Oh,
real thing because we see it happening politically, how
right.
they've been whitewashing things and suppressing voices and, you know what I mean, rewriting history,
Hmm.
So like, yes, this does have to be discussed because it's happening in so many different industries,
Yes. Not
you
just
know,
art, like
it's
across
not, yeah, it's just happening everywhere. And it's truly disrespectful.
very disrespectful.
It's truly disrespectful, and and I'm glad that you and I are talking because we've taken a pretty hard road, in this industry. Not a lot of, women were doing what you were doing, in Chicago. Not a lot of women were doing what I'm doing here in Cleveland and Akron. They call me the first lady of house here. That's how minuscule it is. I'm not, I set myself apart in order to follow my heart in
Right,
this industry. And my heart found its way into house and techno. And I want it to be known for that. And when there are people in the industry that are very fine DJs and they're like these top 40 DJs, very fine
right,
and do great work. But when you start tipping your toes in here, you know what I mean? It's just like it kind of, the lines get blurred.
right. And it's just like pay, and it's also comes down to um like we were talking about this. I had dinner with a good friend of mine who's another DJ that's in the same, I call it like the same generational um placement as me, Danny Deal.
Mm-hmm.
We're the same age. And same thing. We're just talking about how like it comes down also to pay. Like you got some of these young up and comers that are just also like what I really hate, I think this is where it gets into with Chicago. We have like I call like the funnel.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the bigger portions of some of the bigger promotional companies that have literally siphoned everything.
Mm.
And when they book you, they make it seem like they're doing you the favor of booking you.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna book you. So, but we're only gonna pay you like 150 or this or this. They don't ever give you what you're worth. And then you have these little
Mm-hmm.
doe-eyed little up and comers that are like, okay, you know, when really you're like, you're really fucking over some of the seasoned DJs. That's why I mean, like, I've conquered everything I can here in my city. I've played all the major festivals that I can. I've played all the major clubs,
Yeah.
the bigger parties. Um, I'm not
You
a
still doing Shades of Blue?
I do my mixes. I don't do the that died during after COVID.
Got it. Okay.
Um I just don't have the time to
Mm-hmm.
keep that up.
Yeah.
But like grown. So like my sound, just because I productions just grown outside to play outside the city and get booked outside the city. That's more my focus. But yeah, it's just I had like I got I'm not getting booked with some of the bigger stuff big over, believe it or not, over $500 because they don't want to pay their locals anything more than $300 here. Maybe
Mm,
five if you're lucky.
yeah.
And like you have sell out rooms of thousands of people, but you don't want to pay your locals $500? Come on. Like,
Yeah. It's a, you know what? And for Chicago, you guys do it up. I mean, there's some proper parties happening like what on a Tuesday?
not really, not anymore.
Not
There's not really
anymore?
much going on.
Really?
Maybe, but not anymore. Nobody wants to, because nobody really wants to pay. Nobody wants to pay anybody. Or they'll come and get some of these, you get what you pay for. So you get these little shit little DJs and that's it.
Oh my God.
Um,
But that's
but
the
then
thing. It's just like I wish that the DJ culture kind of kept their exclusivity like they used to do.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like on my journey, I had to pay a lot of dues
Mhm.
to get to where I'm at. And now some of these people can just walk in here with an entourage and
Right.
a few people and stuff when the promoters were the ones who hyped you up and got their party people together to come out and see you. You didn't have to worry about that. You didn't, you're not doing the promoter's job. What's the point of having a promoter if the promoter ain't doing that?
Right.
They're the party person. They're the ones that direct the party.
Yeah.
So they should be able to have a list of people that they invite to come because them people trust that promoter's taste.
Yeah. That's
And that's what we used to go clubbing. When I was in clubbing, we
well,
just
yeah,
knew
you
the
knew.
promoters knew the good shit. And if you played that promoter's party, then you were good.
Well, you knew, but it was also different because you knew, like on a Tuesday, you knew where to go on a Tuesday. You knew where to go on a Thursday. You
Right.
knew where to go. It's not like that anymore.
Right. Right.
Not like that anymore. And like a lot of like, we don't have a lot of big clubs anymore in Chicago. Like we have
You
a
kind
lot
of
of
feel
small
Radius
stuff.
kind of took over all of that because it's so big.
It's
It's
so
so
big,
big.
but they're the ones that don't want to fucking pay.
Wow.
I haven't played for them in over
Or
2 years.
it sucks because when you're a local, you get treated as the local.
Hmm.
When you have released albums on major freaking labels all over.
You still get
Your
treated like
your discography is impressive. You know that. You're one of my favorite, you know, producers.
but you still
You
get
are
treated.
badass.
Thank you.
I know you're very passionate and that, there's a rawness and a vulnerability to your work, but also this edge. I feel you releasing, your energy and your emotion, and that connects. And that's what I fell in love with about music in general, in this specific genre. You know, it's it elevates you to a higher place, which is funny because my next track that's coming out, I have a release coming out in May that just got signed and it's called Higher Place. And it's so funny I say that because that's how, this music makes me feel. And that's why people like you and I got into it.
Right.
You know, we loved it so much. You loved it so much you were making it, you know? And you love the feeling, the connection that you have with your audience. It is
Yeah.
fun watching you play. I will say that.
I have fun playing.
It's a
Like I
lot of
like
fun. It is a lot of fun watching. I mean, just watching you, vibing with you, dancing with you. You have that energy, and I love that. I love going to your shows whenever I have an opportunity to.
thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like I love playing, it's always like I love playing, I love to see, and it's just, you know, I just like it's
It's you just
almost
want to
like
make a living like anybody
yeah,
else wants to make a living doing what they love. I
uh,
get it.
right, doing what we love, but also like it's time, I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I think it just kind of goes through especially what's happening, political climate
Politically.
and everything.
Hmm.
It's time. This is what happens when everybody stays too complacent,
Yeah.
stays quiet, and look what happens. And and the same thing kind of goes now even for our scene. It's time to fucking call out the goddamn bad apples. I don't give a shit.
Oh, yes. Helly. Hi. Yes. That's what I'm
You
talking
know?
about. Look at me. What you know what I'm wearing today. This was an intentional outfit. FAFO up in here.
Then I have
For
oh,
real. Like seriously,
like you have
there's
some promoters, like I know it's
I call it colonization.
yeah.
It's
You
call
know,
it wait, our scene has been colonized. Let's
you
just
know,
call it for what it is. And it wasn't supposed to be like that.
no. And it was
No,
like
it was a safe space for people, you know, for queer, black, Hispanic, any marginalized group, any person who is insecure and or introvert. Some of
and
us
it really, yeah.
some of
Yeah.
us nerds who just wanted to, felt but we belonged, in that scene, and now it just turned into what it is,
Or like so many like people just pretending something that they're not like
right?
it was like going through this one like this one promoter, she's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm queer. I'm this." I'm like, "No, you're not. You fucking live with your boyfriend."
Oh no, who is it?
Oh my God. Like I was just like, dude, you live with your boyfriend. You don't hire like I even like I heard rumors like she fucking steals money too from her parties and promoters or people that she works with.
What?
Yeah. And it's just like, dude, fuck you. Like people, and that's the kind of thing too where I'm like, karma will get you. Like you
You
wonder
you,
why
you
people
want to believe that? I want to believe that.
it
But
does happen
sometimes,
though.
karma happens also through us, our and
Right.
our collective energies.
Right.
You
And
know,
like, oh yeah. And it's just kind of like, yep, call you out for what you are. And it's just like, dude, and it's just like and then she's the same person that threw a
so there are
party.
people cosplaying being gay, you're saying.
Yeah. Or queer or whatever, or just like
Wow, just because it's the
because
thing.
yeah, I'm like, you book queer artists. She won't book white females either. Yeah,
What?
I've noticed that too. Um, and I was I was kind of I also like and she also threw a underground party the same night she played at Radius too. I'm like, dude, you got some balls. I'm just like, dude, that's like a no-no. Like, and that's another thing too. It's just like the unspoken rules. It's just like you guys don't even know the unspoken rules. Like bad form. Like a lot of them are just like, you're a fucking idiot. You know, you're a fucking idiot.
Oh, I love this conversation. That's what I'm talking about. Let's call it for what it
I'm
is.
not going to use a name because she's going to know if she listens to this, she's going to
Okay, but
her.
listen, just don't, I mean, well, let's just say this. What have you seen over the years in our community that you believe we can do better on?
Um, when people tell you repeatedly to change your behavior,
Hmm.
Fucking change your goddamn behavior. And that includes drug use too, by the way. If people tell you you got a goddamn problem, you got a goddamn problem.
Hmm.
Like, and that also goes professionally. You become a liability. People that drink constantly, the people that like do drugs, whatever. If you don't see it, there's a reason why you don't see it. It's like the people that like calling yourself crazy. Yeah, a crazy person doesn't know they're crazy. Like if you people that some people that don't have a problem don't know they have a problem.
I think, here's the thing about the interesting thing about drug use is know your limits.
Right. And a lot of these people don't know their limits and then they wonder why they don't get booked again or they don't understand
Right.
where their money goes. And it's just like, or why I don't want to work with certain people. And I've gotten myself off of lineups because I found out also they also voted for Trump. I'm like, if you voted that way, I will not work with you. And
Yeah.
I've canceled a few gigs like that. I've canceled a
Yeah.
few certain promoters because no, because it shows your type of character of who you are. Absolutely
That
not. And I've gotten, well, I
is
regret my vote. I don't give a shit if you regret your vote. You voted that way. And now look where we are. Thank you.
there have been there has been that divide in our scene happening for some time.
Yeah.
And I
And I'll
feel
call you a
like
piece of shit to your face too. I've called a few
it
people a piece of shit to their faces. I'm like, I'm sorry. You can
it's
call me
it
all the names you want, but
I think at the very least of everything, um, that's definitely been a big one in our scene. And I think that's everywhere, honestly.
yeah, that's like embarrassment or something like that. Like you're embarrassed about it. Well, it's just like,
I don't even know. I don't even think some of these people are even embarrassed about it. I think that they will stay quiet about it more because they don't want to be judged for it.
right. Because they
Even
know,
though, and they're not going to feel bad. They don't want to feel bad about it. Like, that's who they chose, and everybody should just accept that.
right.
That's how they feel because that's how they're acting,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And when you do try to talk to people that are on that side of the fence, you know, they have a lot to say.
A whole lot of nothing.
Yeah. Like a whole lot of um defensiveness,
Right.
a lot of defensive behavior. Again, which boils down to their choice and not they don't want to feel shame for it.
Right. But it also comes out in your music and it also comes out in the parties too. Like, people, I notice like people that are like deceptive or doing whatever, you can tell by your mannerisms and how you play, how you hold yourself and everything. So and it's just like, no. Like I can tell right away the moment it was just like, no, I don't get right away I can tell. It's like I don't get good vibes off of you at all. And it's just like you can tell that you're not part of someone or you could tell that someone's not like, no, I'm good on that person kind of thing.
I do see a lot of um I want to say there's a lot of clicks in the scene.
And like, how's your underground scene by you?
Decent. I
Yeah,
would
ours
have to say decent.
it's coming
Honestly,
back again.
it's gotten, I'm very proud of it from where we were, from where we began and to where we're at now. It took a long time to get to this point, but I think we're continuing to grow and do our things. Um, it's been, like I said, we don't have we have some clicks, but we also have a scene that's also, a lot of us grew up in the scene together as well. So a lot of us do, um, the circle's small, so
Right.
to speak,
Oh yeah.
but we're also expanding, as well, with Crowbar, and we have this awesome, I have a friend who does this monthly queer party, and it's awesome. And it's wonderful to finally see that happening here, considering, how many people before, for years, were throwing these parties and losing money, but yet, having a great time and building memories, you know?
Yeah. I mean, our underground scene is get, we're
The
it's like huge,
underground scene is, to me, especially during times like this, are even more necessary.
necessary.
This is where we go to congregate. This is
Right.
where we go to uplift each other, not only through music, but just by congregation. This is where we go to dance with you. This is where we go to feel safe.
Right. And this is, and it's like we all have our pockets of things. And that's where I'm noticing it's more segregated now than before. Um, they have their certain people have their own parties, they have their own parties, certain things have their own party.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also needs to be done right. And it's just like, and the ones that have done undergrounds and been through the undergrounds, I'm trying to tell the new ones, hey, be careful of X, Y, and Z, or remember that Chicago still has the rave clause
Right.
intact.
Mm-hmm.
All these things, all these things. Do you remember this? Do you remember this? Do you remember this? Remember this. Know your history. Know this. Know this. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, you got caught again. Oh, you burned that spot out. Up this. Up this. Up this. Up, you didn't listen. Don't ask for my help anymore.
Mm.
That's exactly what it comes down to, where it's just like, oh, they don't want to help us, or this people don't want to help us, like the noobs, kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. And it's like, well, yeah, because we were trying to tell you, you don't fucking listen. There comes a point where you just don't fucking listen. So why the hell are we gonna help you? And then it's like, well, step aside and let the professionals do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Um, and it's just like, and it's also like, and I don't know about you, but like a lot of these new ones too, change your goddamn music. Holy shit. I can run
Okay.
through half of these kids' playlists like memory. They don't change, or they swap USBs with each other, thinking that, oh, I'm playing something different. You guys are all fucking playing this goddamn same music on different USBs.
You want to know what it is? I've played off of a lot of off of different thumb drives. And if you ever go to certain people's folders and they have I've noted, like my folders, it looks like it's
Why not by
just
gig?
it's mine is only separated by dates, meaning I have a vibe for what I was feeling that day, and that's what I'm playing. So, but some of these people, they play like all A's, all everything in key. So
Right. Well,
that's why let's just say they're starting in A, they'll have a whole set list in that key, and that's what you're hearing.
right.
And it's like, hold up, I don't play that way.
You have like a certain,
I mean, I play like, for me, it's all about staying in, like having complementary keys,
hmm
but intermingling those sounds
You have to
together.
have a groove. You
A
have a
real
focal
groove.
point. There's
Yeah,
a point to the
exactly.
journey of your set. You have to curate a set. I remember I got booked to open because the two other DJs don't know how to open. And I yelled at the promoter and I said, look, you need to book one of those two as an opener because they need to learn. That's the only way you're gonna fucking learn to learn how to open is if you fucking open. Well, they don't know how to. Well, then tell them to fucking learn. I had to learn. Opening is one of the hardest things that you can do.
Let me tell you something. I am an excellent opener, by the way. And honestly, I might just put this out there. Just why not? Just to see. Just to see. I will just proclaim, I'll self-proclaim myself as the one of the best openers in the entire world. And if you book me, I will open your show. And after I open and
Hard.
kickstart that bitch, I can now party with all you guys after.
I mean, it's like
Book me as your world. I will be the world's best opener. I am the
opening is
world's best
hard.
opener. It
Opening
is. It's an
is hard.
art because you
Yeah, it's
don't
hard.
always go, you don't want to go too hard. It's
You
the
can't go too hard.
foreplay. It's foreplay. These people, you want to know what it is? They don't know how to do foreplay. If you know how to do foreplay real good, you'll know how to open.
Want to know why? Because they don't change their fucking playlist. That's why. They don't know how to goddamn change their goddamn playlist.
Let me just say this: play what you want. Nobody wants to hear it at 1:28 at 9 o'clock. Okay,
Right.
you ain't doing 1:28 at 9 o'clock.
No,
You
not
don't
at
want to
all.
go like that. You want you want to start easy and then
Right.
ease your way
You need
up.
to
You know what I
build.
mean? You need to build. But that's the foreplay.
Right. You need to welcome
That's
people
the
in.
sauce. That's the sauce.
Right. You need to welcome people, welcome people in. And that's like the whole thing.
Exactly.
And it's like that's the one way. The only time I would want to open is if I wanted to test out new tracks or I just wanted to just kind of like, you know,
Right.
to play, play early or do something, or if it was just called for it, or if there was only two DJs, it was like me and the headliner. That would be different. That's different. But it just baffles me where it's just like opening's hard.
It is. It's no joke because
Right,
really you don't have like you can have a nice little early crowd in there, but a lot of them are in their cocktail phase. You know what I
right,
mean? They're just arriving. They're getting it in. They're feeling cool. You know, you want to ease them in. You know, it's all about that. It's I just call it the foreplay because that's
right.
what it is. You
Oh, you
know?
want and here's another thing. It just kind of cracks me up too in a way. One of the bigger conglomerates here, they typically like to hold doors for their openers. So sometimes the openers are playing to an empty room for a while until doors sometimes are open 30, 40 minutes into the
What?
set. Yep. So really you're only playing for 20 minutes to a crowd if you're lucky. Mhm.
Where they're in Chicago?
Mhm.
Oh, because you don't get too much of an early crowd there because they're
No,
all
they'll
coming in
hold
at 10.
doors, meaning they won't open the doors yet because they're
What?
still fucking around. Yep.
I have never heard of that. What? That's wild.
Yep.
They do that at
Even at
Radius?
ARC, they did the
They do
same
that at
thing.
Radius?
The Radius, they did the same thing to me at ARC the one year, the second year. They didn't open
Oh,
doors. I was playing at the expansion stage. They held doors for 25 minutes. People were like, "We came to see you. We didn't even get to the stage until you
oh,
said."
I'm sorry, babe. That
You know.
sucks. Why would they do that?
Oh, but we booked you, so we did you a
No, that's
favor.
not the point. You want it like, especially
But
when
that's
you
how they
have
make.
people
But
that are coming to
but that's how they
see
make you
you.
feel, girl. That's how they make you feel. Oh, we booked you, so we did you the favor. That's how they make the locals feel here. This is what I've been trying to say to people, and everybody tells me that I'm fucking crazy sometimes. No, I just say exactly what's on my exactly what's happening. And
I
everybody
wish
puts
I
their
could
goddamn
hug
head
you right
down.
now.
And
Look,
everybody puts my head down. Everybody puts their head down because they know I'm right.
yes. And that's it's a tough pill to swallow, but the truth
Right.
to feel, the truth has to be told.
And it's because it's a
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not about whether or not somebody is frustrated. It's about the fact that, you know, um, a lot of us have kept quiet for way too long.
Mhm.
Our voices were silenced for way too long, but we thankfully have grew our careers to the point where we have the privilege now to talk about the very issues, you know, and to be able to share it out there because we're not the only ones that feel this way.
Right.
We're not the only ones that are blind to the bullshit.
I mean,
We
the
ain't
same
blind,
thing happens with all these
we're not
weird.
blind to the bullshit.
No.
And we're not we haven't let it go. We had to wait. We needed to wait some time to be able to have this conversation like we're having today. And you're at a point in your career right now where you're in the recording cabinet academy. You live in an amazing city. You have amazing peers who respect the hell out of you. You make awesome music that you release regularly. And by the way, let's talk about some of the music that you've got out right now, because and what are you vibing to these days?
Oh, techno. I mean, I haven't touched house and I haven't produced house in years.
Yeah.
I just it's not like because it gets just drowned out here. Like I can't take the tech house. I can't take right.
Does
Like
there, which poses the question, does everybody have a price?
right.
Does everybody have a price? That's a personal question.
Right. And it's just like
And that's what's happening a lot in this industry. A lot of people are, getting drowned out by the money.
the money and just like and I know for a fact that
And the wrong people are being made famous
yep, that's it. And it's
just
just like it's like
because they have resources.
they have
They
the resources.
have resources. It's the only reason why they made it that far is because of the people, the money that they have backing them, whether it be their own or their crew that they have around them.
Right.
Somebody like John Summit had that, because he had a very lucrative job, lucrative family, and a lucrative uh community of people that wanted to be around him because they were the party people. They can get you whatever you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They can get you into the club, they can get you in the VIP. They got the coke, they got the drug, they got the drinks. They got those things that bring people there. That's the truth.
Yeah, it is the truth.
That's the truth. That's the only reason. Because you notice I didn't say anything about talent
Nope.
in all of that. I didn't say anything about the music in any of that.
Yeah, they don't there's nothing.
You know what I'm saying? They can buy the best producers, they can get into the best studios, they could do anything they want in order to get to that next level. Obviously, we saw an election that was clearly bought.
And he admitted it. Did you hear him admit it
Yeah,
in the Oval
yeah,
Office again?
you know exactly what I'm talking about. So money is trumping talent, plain and simple. Money trumps talent
Mm-hmm.
because there are some, let me just say this. I have met some of the most talented people in the world, including the one I'm talking to on here. And I consider myself a very talented person. You know, I work hard at everything that I do. And I know you do too. And that does deserve to be recognized because I know you put your heart and soul into it. It
Right.
does suck when you don't have the means always to be able to get to that level. All you got to do, it's like having like a dollar in a dream, but nobody tells you the other stuff that you're going to need too. And
Right.
how much are you willing to sacrifice and give over to do those things or to get to that next level?
Right.
And
Like, I
in
mean,
this industry right now, to me, your network is key, your community is key, and honestly, just putting out good music and having a good energy and a good vibe and being able to just do a good party. And then
we need the space to do it too. Like a lot of spaces are disappearing.
yeah, but
Um,
that's the other thing that I'm really concerned about. Let's talk about that for a minute. The scene in general might be disrupted if we have an administration who's hell bent on getting rid of pretty much a marginalized group such as the LGBTQ
mhm.
community. How many of these parties are going to be disrupted?
Right. I mean, they're just going to go underground like they are. I mean, they're all going underground right now.